Having read part 1 and 2 of Whistling, I gotta say this, man. I didn't really understand why a lot of I didn't dislike Vayu. I'm pretty indifferent on him, and I'm not gonna act like, "Oh my god, I'm such a Vayu fan all of a sudden," because 'cause I'm not. He's not one of my favorite gods. He's not one of my favorite characters. But I can say that my intrigue in him, or at least I understand him now, having seen the story with him and his betrothed. I understand him a lot more. Having kind of understand going from 4th Zen to 5th Zen and the enlightenment and what you have to do to not exit this like mortal coil or plane of existence recklessly, because if you are especially like a fundamental nature god like wind or fire and you're needed when you get enlightened again, you can't just exit. We need fire, you know what I'm saying? So I want to talk about Whistling 1 and 2.
忍びじゃなくてジャマイカボーイフードで育った making noise 四六時中かかってこい It don't matter though Young nigga from Canada Rap from that bullshit and go like a matador 行けたら行くわ毎日俺のゴールへかき出す
Kurigami is a bully. Before I even kind of get into this, she's mean, so you will not be seeing heaven for this. And I will protect my heart and the hearts of all the Kubera fans around, because why are you torturing us? We don't need to be under this psychological transcendental, ma'am. All right, we're on your side. We're rocking with you. Stop hurting us. And also, what's F injured till I die? So this is pretty interesting. Like now, the whole reason why it's called whistling is like pretty menial, but I understand that it's the reason that I guess it's basically the icebreaker Vayu used to get close to we don't even have her name, oddly enough, to get close to his betrothed, to his lover, because I guess he must have been watching her for a couple of lifespans, because I guess they fall in love with souls more so than like a look or personality necessarily. It's more like I'm in love with your soul. There's this part of the beginning reading like when it comes to like the bonding of marriage, God's read it as bonding of souls, and I think humans see it as like the union of two peoples, something like that. So um yeah, his personality is a lot different when he's a 4th Zen. He's much more bubbly and happy-go-lucky and all of those things. And then when he gets enlightened and he chooses like responsibility or whatever, he's not the same anymore. It looks like none of them are the same after that, because I guess Agni, that happened with Agni to some degree as well. But Agni, he tried to stay for Brilith and whatnot. And what I find very interesting is when Vayu kind of pulls up on her to talk about possibly breaking it off, so like she doesn't have her soul doesn't have to suffer for millennia and billions and trillions of years. I just thought about Brilith being like the only ancient human soul and not connecting with a lot of people around her and the stuff that she had to go through and the multiple deaths of Ganhavra and all those things, and then like getting to this point where I call her like Neo Brilith, like she would have went through that, but I think she would have wanted to and would have preferred that than not being away with her. And that Vayu should have tried to find a way, whether with Yam or in tandem, to find the soul or be able to know every time she's been born or reincarnated, whatever the case is, and do everything he can to protect and alleviate the suffering she would go through. Right. I do think it was a cowardly move for him to try to push that decision on her. I don't like people that do that. Oh, you want to like break up or walk away from the situation? You're trying to put it on me. And it's like, why don't you have some goddamn balls and just pull the plug yourself? Don't put that on me. I'm not interested in that. I never really liked that. Now, what I could tell you, if I was Vayu, I would tell her this because I wanted to be informed, and then we can decide this together. But my decision would be, can we please at least attempt and try and fight? Because my understanding is this can be annulled at any time. So let's say through 500 years, she's like, babe, this is too much. I can't. Like, you gotta let me go. Fine. Even though I would be like, in pain for eternity. Fine. But I would try. I don't like quitting before I even attempt. That's not really in me. So, but anyways, no, they're really good chapters. They're just like when Injurus just comes and he freaking smokes her and breaks it off, and then he's there clutching the headphones, and then you just see her like dead looking at him. I said, bro, I feel terrible. And then like an ass, she ends the chapter with them meeting as like children, and she puts it in full color because these side chapters are with her like sepia, whatever color tone, like outlines and silhouettes more than they're a full-on concrete inked in drawings to that degree. And then she bring the color back of them verse meeting, and I'm like, bro, I'm sad. My heart hurts. I want to cry. You don't got to do this to us. You don't got to do this, Curry God. But it was honestly phenomenal, and then you understand exactly when Vayu pulls up on Maruna during like the wait of time and he looks the way that he looks. You know exactly what happens to him now. Why he looks so dejected and why he looks so kind of deadpan and dead in his eyes all the time. One thing this might sound really weird, but you know how people say that eyes are the window to the soul. That saying is starting to make a lot of sense to me these days. When I look into the eyes of somebody, there's a lot that I believe that I can discern and read and get from it. Even to the point where some people I think you're just on like you're just on drugs or like antidepressants and you're just not there. You're just zooted. But anyways, pain and suffering, pain and suffering. It's all we get with this girl. It's all we get. Patreon gang. Shout out to the Patreon gang. Yes, sir. Shout out to my certified BAM lovers. You know, I appreciate y'all deeply. Gotta give a big shout out to the Priest of Fire. That's the real CBL Brilliant gang. You already know what it is, but especially gonna give a huge thank you to my tier threes, the fifth Zen Gods. Shout out to Zodiac, Sonny Katapali, Simi, Silo, Shoddy to your body, Scobe, Revenant, Lucky Roo, Lazy Dragon, Chris, Johnny Rogers, Jacob Holland, Irene Sharda, Fitz, Tris, and my boy Abdel. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you.